Hi guys, so today I'm going to be talking about me being pregnant. So I think it was 2013 I got pregnant with my oldest. I was about 17, I think 17. I didn't know. So wow, I felt funny. At this time I was going to college. I felt a bit funny, and then it was like, when you never experienced stuff before, so you don't know the feeling. It was kind of like that. I was still being sick. I was still getting up, and like times I'll find myself so tired, and I'm like, what is wrong? Like, I'll go to college, come back home, and just pass out. I'll wake up the next morning. It was something. I won't eat. I would just sleep. Lost so much weight. But that was like around April I started noticing. Well, I didn't know at the time, but I'll say around April I started noticing change in my body and stuff like that. So I didn't think anything of it. So I think June about June, I went back home, and like it got worse. Like I was feeling dizzy because it's so hot back home. It was like I was feeling dizzy, like I nearly fainted. And then one day I was like, I need to get this checked out because it's been way too long. And then I went to the doctors. You know how, I don't know if you know, but they'll ask you to do a little urine sample or whatever. And it was like the doctor already knew. She was like, yeah, I figured. But yeah, so I went to go do my urine sample, whatever. And came back, she tested it right there, and she was like, yep, you're pregnant. And like at that moment, I was like so shocked. Like, what? Because at the time I was in college and I just wanted to finish college, move on, go to uni. But I was like so confused, didn't know who to talk to, didn't know who to trust. Like at this time, me and my partner weren't speaking, we weren't even together at this time. So it was like kind of hard because it felt like, I don't know, I didn't know whether to be happy or what. Like, it was just so emotional. It was like mixed emotions. But yeah, so yeah, I found out, and then I after that I walked to a friend's house because my friend like lived near, and then I was like, who do I tell? And then my mom was all her, but my dad lives back home, so I was like, who to tell? Like, I didn't even, I had friends, but it wasn't like, oh, I need to talk to you about something. Because how do you say that? How can you come out like that? You know? Because it's bad enough. Like people were like, oh, she's young and pregnant. Like they judge you. So it's like you want to go to somebody that won't judge you. But yeah. So I walked to my friend's house. On my way to my friend's house, I was like, I have to tell one of my parents at least. Like it was just, I just had to tell at least one of them. So it was like one done, one more to go. But my mom had been on her, so I was like, yeah, she's the easiest person to go to. And then I texted her, and then I was like, guess what? And then she was like, what? You're not pregnant? And I was like, huh? How you know? Like, because to me, I was like, who would have told her? But she actually saw it. Like, even when, before I left, she saw everything. Like, even earlier in the pregnancy, my nipples were leaking, and I was like, no. Like, you don't, it don't hit you until, like, you're given the results. And it was like, no, it didn't add up. It just didn't add up. But yeah, so I was like, yeah. So she took it pretty good. Like, I was thinking, oh, getting kicked out, leave me alone, get away from me type of thing. But no, she was like excited. She was like, you need to sort yourself out. Like, because I never met my mom's mom, so she was like, she saw it as a blessing. So I was like, oh, one down, one more to go. Wasn't so bad, but me and my dad were like close, still are, but it was so much. So yeah, so I was walking to my friend's house, and I'm like, how am I gonna tell anyone? Like, how do I say this? Like, it was easier to text it, but so I told one of my mom's friends that live like close by, and I was like, I'm pregnant. Like, she was like, what? But it was just like, everyone was so shocked. It was like, I felt like everyone was talking about me. It was like I was the topic. Even when I used to go out to places, it was like people would just stare. Even though I didn't have like a proper bump, people would just stare. Like, why is she pregnant? But anyways, yeah. So she was like, oh, we have to, have you told anyone? And I was like, yeah, I just told my mom. She's a bit happy. She's just worried about my health, basically. And yeah, so I lived with my dad. So she called him, and she was like, we have to talk, get to your house, like ASAP. Like, it's about your daughter. And he was like, okay, is she okay? Is she in the hospital? Blah, 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 blah. And she was like, no, she's fine. You just need to hear this. And it was like, it came out across as bad news. So I was like, oh my god. So got to the house. It took like 15 minutes. That's about 10 minutes. And he was sitting there, like, just sitting there with, like, he looked so stressed. I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't. I really can't. And my heart was just about to fall out of my chest. Like, it was, no, I was like, I can't do this. Like, me and my dad are like this. I can't. And then it was like, I don't know, it was like, he knew something was up. Like, the way he was just sitting there, and like my heart started pumping. Like, it was so much emotion. Like, what do I say? How do I say it? Like, I was like, do I have to keep my distance? Is it gonna hit me? Not like that, but you don't, when you're thinking so much, you don't know what's gonna happen, so you're like extra paranoid. So so I just started crying and crying and crying, and when you're pregnant, your emotions are like up there. But yeah, I just started crying and crying. He was like, what are you crying for? What are you crying for? Like, he was getting angry because he didn't know what was going on, but he saw me crying. So I told him, and it, he was angry. That's all I'm gonna say. He was angry. Like, it looked like he wanted to cry. And then it's like, I didn't know what to say. Should I hug him? Should I leave him? Like, what to do? And then he was like, oh, I need to clear my head. I need to go for a walk or whatever. And it's like, that just broke our bond. Like, it just, I don't know, it was just like, we wasn't close anymore. But, like, we talked it out or whatever. He was more concerned about me going to uni, going to college, finishing college. He was just like, it's too early for this. And to me, in the back of my head, after a while, I was like, this was like meant to be. Things don't happen for a reason, you know? So he was like, I had so much in store for you. Like, he wanted me to be successful. And it was like, I had to sit there and stress to him about it. Like, I'm gonna live my life. Like, I understand I was 17. I was getting 18 that month that I told him. He was like, what are you gonna do? Like, you know, what are your options? And I just had to tell him, like, things happen for a reason. You cannot change what's gonna happen or what has happened. And then I was like, I'm still gonna go to college. I'm still gonna go to uni. Whether I go 30 years from now, I'm still gonna go. You know, I've got a motivation to go now. So, yeah. So, what happened next? Then I went, like, a few weeks later, I was leaving. So I was like, let me go get a checkup and stuff like that. So I went back and they was like, oh, do you want to know the sex and stuff like that? So I was like, yeah. So I found out the sex, whatever. Said I was a girl. I wanted a boy, so boys are so easy. Well, seem so easy. But, yeah, it was a girl. Like, at that point, I just felt like I had nobody. My mom was, like, so far away. I was like, I can't wait to get out of this country. I love my home so much, but I could not wait. So I get back and I book an appointment and stuff like that. Like, and then my partner, we didn't speak, and it was like he didn't, I don't know, he didn't understand me. But yeah, so 2 months after she was born, he came around. Like, it was just so much. But them 2 months taught me so much. Like, I honestly give props to single parents, because them 2 months, even though my daughter was like an angel, those 2 months was so much. I cried so much, like, so many times I cried and cried, and it's like so emotional, especially the first few days, and you're like, I'm a baby myself. How am I supposed to take care of a baby? And it was like so much going on. Like, it was really hard. And then yeah, so when she was 2 months, he came around. Um, at that point, it was like I just felt a relief. It was like, from young, I was like, no, like, my child needs to have both parents in their lives. So we kind of worked things out. Like, it took a few months or whatever, but we ended up working things out. Like, I just felt so relieved, and it was like, I was still emotional, I was still crying. Like, it was just, I think I'm a crybaby, but it was just so emotional.